Hello, dear students of Class 8. How are you all? Dear student, I am a science teacher, DPS sir, from LPM Public School, Gola Bazar, Gorakhpur student. Student, as you know, you chapter 13, the chemical effect of electric current that have already been revised and explained. Now today, I am going to explain you a new chapter, that is chapter 14, natural phenomenon. On this topic, I will discuss about some natural phenomenon. Natural means God gifted features. In this, I will explain you about the student charging any object, how any object gets charged by rubbing, different types of charges and differentiation between the positive and the negative charges. Then I will explain about the demonstrate the transfer of charges, how the charges get transferred. Then student, I will explain dictate about the history of lightning. What is lightning? What is thunder and lightning? Then the safety measures to keep safe from lightning that I will discuss. Then making how to make the lightning conductor of your own. And finally, I will describe about the earthquake and the other information related to the earthquake. So student, let's start. Student, we have seen that clouds when form in the sky, this cloud bring rain, and sometimes due to change in weather there is a snowfall if the temperature is low. Sometimes there occur thunderstorm. But do you know, student, that they also bring the essential forces of universe, that is the electricity. Means when there is a thunderstorm, when there is lightning in the sky, you will see a huge amount of lightning when happening in the rainy days or any thunderstorm that is happening. What is that, student? That lightning that is striking somewhere on the earth, that is the huge amount of flow of electricity, electric current, electrons flowing. Student, have you stood outside during a storm and seen a sudden flash of light? Sometime when the weather is not so good, you might have seen a flash of light falling from the sky to the earth's surface. So lightning and the sky become lightened. So this streak of light that falling on the earth's surface from the sky is called lightning. Student, lightning is very powerful. It can burn houses and can set forests on fire. So lightning, student, is not, don't take lightning in very light. Actually lightning contains a very powerful electrons, and when this lightning strikes on a houses or forest area, it's set on fire. Student, in this chapter we will study about some of the natural phenomenon, natural calamities in detail. Now, the topic today is about the charging by rubbing. How we could create a charge when two objects rub together. What charges has been created in doing so? Student, Why do you hear a crackling sound and see sparks while taking a woolen pullover off? So in the winter's time, when you take out the sweater in the dark night, in when dark night means when there is a totally dark in a room, you will see a sparkling light comes out as well as a sound, crackling sound could be heard. So how it is happened? So the hair between the body hair and the fur of that pullover, due to continuous wearing it, there is a rubbing between the body hair and the woolen fur, and while rubbing it gets charged, and when we take out the pullover, so our body hair gets attracted with that fur of the sweater or the pullover. In winter your hair stands up when you take off your woolen cap. Let's find the answer. What's the reason behind this? Student, plastic comb can carry an electric charge. How? Take a very tiny pieces of paper, spread on the table, and bring a plastic comb near the piece of paper. Note what happens. Now rub one end of the plastic comb on your hair and bring near the piece of paper. Both the comb and the hair must be dry, student. Then observe what will happen. You will observe piece of paper getting attracted to the comb and sticking to it. This happens because the plastic comb gets charged through the force of friction when you rub it against your dry hair. So student, you can see here in this figure, here the comb when get rubbed with the hair, the comb has acquired opposite charge. The hair is shown here containing positive charges, okay, and when the comb is continuously rubbed with the hair, a opposite charge has been created on the comb that you see here. It is a negative charge, and when we brought near a bits of paper create opposite charges. As in comb there is a negative charges and opposite charges get created on the paper front side, and the paper gets attracted, because you know very well that opposite charges attract as the opposite poles attract each other. But if you bring the paper directly near the hair, as because now the paper has created a charge opposite to that of the charge on the comb. So what the charge has been created on the paper, student? You can see very well in this diagram. Positive charge has been created. And if you bring the paper near your hair, so you have seen that hair is also positive charge and the paper is also positive charge. So both the positive charge will not let the attraction between those two, the hair and the paper, so the paper will not get attracted, as because they both are same charges, and always the nature of the same charge is that when a two same charges object brought closer to each other, they will repel each other. Without doing attraction they will repel, because they both are same charges. If they would have the opposite charges, then there must be have the attraction between them, but it's not so. So student, now, this way of creating a charge by rubbing to another body and getting charged is called the electrostatic force. So again, I am just re-explaining this topic just today. So here, student, you can see a practical example I am going to explain you about. See here, a bits of paper here, just, and now I am bringing the comb, but it is not getting attracted. But when I will rub the comb on my hair, and after rubbing for some times, Due to this rubbing, it gets charged. And now when I am bringing it near to this comb, we have seen these bits of paper has got attracted as due to because of rubbing it created the negative charges on the comb and the paper was neutral, and as we brought the comb near the hair and as we brought the comb near the hair, sorry dear student, and as we brought the comb near the paper, the comb, due to the opposite negative charges at the comb, the opposite charges get created on the paper and the paper was attracted. So this type of creating a charge is the electrostatic, means the charge that is created and the force that is applied here is the electrostatic force by which the bits of paper is getting attracted. So the now next student, the objects such as a balloon filled with air, plastic scale, plastic pen or plastic comb on rubbing against dry hair. When these such type of object like balloon filled up, means the flattened balloon, plastic scale, plastic pen or plastic comb on rubbing against dry hair, these acquires electric charge. Student, an object or body when acquires electric charge is called a charged object. So, when such type of object like air, plastic scale, plastic pen, plastic comb, when they after rubbing acquires the charge, then all these body that have acquired charge are called the charged objects or body. Now student, rub a strip of iron, copper or aluminum on your dry hair. Now student, just check it. Another some materials like iron, made up of iron, copper or aluminum. Rub it on your dry hair. Do they attract small pieces of paper like plastic combs? No, they don't. An object or body having no electric charge, so that body which couldn't acquire the electric charge by this method is called uncharged object or body. So the iron scale, the copper plate or the aluminum couldn't acquire the charge after rubbing, so all these objects are called the uncharged objects or body. Now student, here you can see attract, here you can see a balloon here and a substance used for rubbing cotton, cloth, wool, gloves or dry hair. When you will rub the balloon with these things, what happen? Can they attract the piece of paper? Yes student, they can attract. Here, yes, they can attract. Okay, charged or uncharged? It is charged student, it is charged. So a plastic plate and a funnel, so it is, yes, it can attract. And whether it's charged, yes, it is charged. A steel plate with a polythene or woolen cloth, no student, it will not able to attract and no charge is created on this. Okay student, lump of mud and a woolen cloth, student, in this also it cannot attract, as well as neither no any charge could be created on this. Next one, potato chips and polythene, this also not student. Leather shoe and a flannel, this is not. and could also not be done. So only these could be done, student. These could require charges and they can attract the objects. Now student, try to stick a balloon to the wall. It not stick. Try to stick a balloon to the wall. Student, it will not stick. Now rub the balloon with a woolen cap and try to stick it on the wall. So you will see after rubbing with the woolen cap, this time the balloon gets stick to the wall. This happens because after rubbing the balloon with the woolen cap and the electric charge is developed on the balloon. This electric charge helps the balloon to stick to the wall for some times. Whenever we rub an insulator, means an object that can conduct, that can receive, or that in which the electric charge could come, is called the insulator. When we rub an insulator, an object in which an electric current doesn't flow freely against woolen material or a silk cloth or a funnel. So student, when we rub an insulator against woolen material or a silk cloth or flannel, it produces a force. There arises a force between it to attract those opposite charge objects. This force that has been created to attract these are called the electrostatic force. This is called, student, what? Electrostatic force. Now student, come types of charges. Come on the types of charges. So student, on the behalf of type of charges, you can see here types of charges. Do charges interact with each other? Yes, charges interact with each other because there are two charges, positive and negative. Only the opposite charge which could attract each other, but similar charge will repel. If positive brought near each other, then in this condition also both the object will be repelled. If negative has been brought, in this condition also they both will repel. But if positive and negative has been brought in front of each other, they will attract to each other. Now student, next is that behavior of charged glass rod. You can see here, student, these are the two activities. Okay, now student, just see, it's saying inflate two balloons. Do charges interact each other? The activity is to prove that do charge, if any charged body, whether the charged body there shows any interaction between when two charged bodies kept in front of each other or brought near closer to each other. For in that condition, first of all, you try to inflate two balloons. Okay, hang them in such a way that they are at the same height and do not touch each other. Means both the balloon must be hang in such a condition that the gapping between those two balloons of the oxygen, though you can say that they are not very closer to each other and they are of same height. Okay, just keep the notice that both the balloon could not touch. They must be enough far apart that they can't touch each other, like this way. So rub both the balloons with the woolen cloth and release them. Now rub both the balloons with a woolen cloth and just, means the balloon is already tied up in a thread and hanged on a rope. Just you take the balloon and rub on the woolen cloth and leave it, release it. What do you observe? Why do they move? You will see, when both the balloons are rubbed, with the same type of object, okay, they both acquired the same charge. They both acquired the same charges. But if one balloon must be rubbed with some other object and the other with some other object, in that case both the balloon would have acquired two opposite charges and both the balloon would have attracted toward each other, means moved toward each other, but it doesn't happen so because both the object has got same charges. So they, you can see here, the gapping could prove you and shows that they had repelled each other. Okay, because they both have acquired either positive charge or negative charge or negative charges. Okay, student. So you can see here, repeat the above activities with the use of now rub both the balloon with the woolen cloth. What do you why do they move, why do they move apart? Repeat the above activities with used pen refill. Now repeat these examples with uh, the same process but by pen refills. Rub one refill with a polythene bag and place it carefully on a glass tumbler using the tumbler on a stand as a stand. So here you can see here in this figure, rub one of the rub one refill with polythene and place it carefully in the tumbler of the stand. Rub the other with the polythene and bring it close to the previously charged refill. Be careful not to touch the charged end of with your hand. Bring an inflated charged balloon near the charged refill kept in the glass. Record the observations. The a charged object, you can see that, तो स्टूडेंट जैसा आप लोगों ने देखा कि जब ये बैलून दोनों न्यूट्रल था, कोई चार्ज नहीं था, और जब दोनों बैलूनों को हमने सेम टाइप ऑफ वुलन क्लॉथ से रब किया तो दोनों बैलूनों ने सेम जैसे चार्ज एक्वायर कर लिए, क्योंकि वो दोनों एक ही टाइप के क्लॉथ से रब किया गया, वुलन क्लॉथ से। और रब करने के बाद जो हमें अंतर दिखा प्रीवियस पहले के कंपेयर में और बाद के कंपेयर में, जो हमें अंतर दिखा कि पहले ये दोनों इजीली हैंग किए हुए थे बट द दोनों सेम चार्जेस एक्वायर कर लिए, तो अब ये एक दूसरे को रिपेल कर रहे हैं, मतलब दूर झटक रहे हैं, एक दूसरे के करीब नहीं आना चाहते हैं, दोनों एक दूसरे से दूर भाग रहे हैं। सो ऐसा सो स्टूडेंट, next is that behavior of charged ebonite rod with each other. Take an ebonite rod, charge it with woolen cloth. Take an ebonite rod, rub the ebonite rod with the woolen cloth. So the ebonite rod get charged after rubbing it with the woolen cloth. Okay. Now suspend it horizontally by tying it with a thread and hang it. You can see here how the ebonite rod has been hanged by the help of a thread. So bring one end of the suspended charged ebonite rod to the another ebonite rod. Now this ebonite rod is already charged. Now bring one more ebonite rod, okay student, which is also charged by the woolen cloth, same woolen cloth. What do you observe? You will see that they will repel each other, they will repel. That means student, again why I want to re-explain in Hindi. इसमें बच्चों ये दिखाया गया है कि एक इबोनाइट रॉड को जब वुलन से रब किया गया और उसको रब करने के बाद उसको एक धागे से लटका दिया गया, टांग दिया गया, और उसके बाद दूसरा इबोनाइट रॉड, उस इबोनाइट रॉड को भी वुलन कपड़े से रगड़ने के बाद एक चार्ज क्रिएट होने के बाद जब इस इबोनाइट रॉड को उस लटके हुए इबोनाइट रॉड के समीप लाया गया, नज़दीक लाया गया, तो ये पाया गया कि लटका हुआ इबोनाइट रॉड उस दूसरे इबोनाइट रॉड से दूर भाग रहा है। ऐसा सिर्फ इसलिए क्योंकि दोनों ने सेम चार्जेस एक्वायर कर लिए, बिकॉज दे बोथ आर रब्ड बाय द सेम nature of cloth, that is a woolen cloth. So the woolen cloth has given both of them the similar charges. That's why without attracting to each other, they are repelling. Okay student. Now student, you will observe the suspended ebonite rod moves when away from one another charged ebonite rod. charged with woolen clothes is brought to closer. So these are all what. Next come behavior of charged glass when charged ebonite with a charged ebonite rod. Now here the two different material rod has been taken. One the glass rod and other the ebonite rod. One the glass rod and other the ebonite rod. Take a glass rod, charged it by rubbing it with a silk cloth as done in the earlier. That means the even glass rod by the silk and the ebonite rod by the woolen cloth. Now bring this closer to suspended glass rod charged with silk. What do you notice? So when you will see that both the nature of the glass, both the nature of the rod is also different, as well as the charging effect, because it is rubbed with different type of things. One glass is rubbed with silk and the ebonite is rubbed with wool. So both of them is rubbed with different materials, so they will acquire different charges. Take an ebonite rod and charge by rubbing with the woolen clothes. Now what will you notice? You will notice that the ebonite rod and the glass rod attract. Why so? Because they are being rubbed by different nature of clothes. So because of rubbing of different nature of clothes, they both have acquired the different types of charges. And when there's different types of charges, they both attracts each other. That means one has acquired the positive and other has acquired the negative charge. So student, you will notice that the ebonite rod and the glass rod attract each other. On the basis of such experiment, scientists have come to conclusion that there are two different types of charges, positive and negative charges. As the matter of convection, these charges are denoted as positive for positive and negative sign for the negative charges. Glass rod, you must just set up the pair in your mind, student, that whenever the glass rod is rubbed with silk, whenever the glass rod rubbed with silk, so the glass rod will acquire the positive charge, and when an ebonite rod rubbed with wool, it will acquire the negative charge. So because the glass has acquired the positive and the ebonite has acquired the negative, so when they both brought closer, they attract each other. So glass rod when rubbed with the silk acquire positive, and the ebonite rod when rubbed with the woolen acquires the negative charges. So you see here student, substance 1 glass rod, substance 2 ebonite rod. So here you can see charged with glass rod is charged with silk, okay, and substance 2 when glass rod, same glass rod is brought and same charge with same type of cloth, they both under this condition they both will repel each other. Take an ebonite rod charged by wool and take one more ebonite rod and charge with wool. When they both are brought together, they will repel because the same process applied by the different same object, same charge will create. Next, glass rod is rubbed with silk and ebonite rod with wool. Then here in this condition, they will both will acquire the opposite charges and they will both will attract each other. Two charged body repel each other if they are made up of same material. Two charged body repel each other if they are made up of same material. But two charged body of different materials and charged by different materials attract each other. Now, like charges repel and unlike charges similar charges repel each other, but unlike charges attract each other. Next, student, to check if a given body is charged or not. To check the student given body is charged or not. If we have to check whether the given body is charged or not, we can bring another charged body closer to it. If there is a repulsion, then means it is clear that the body which is front is also charged. But if we brought and there is no any attraction or repulsion, that means the object is neutral, no any charge. The given body is charged, the nature of charge on both the bodies is the same. If there is attraction between the given body and the charged body, then the given body could be charged with unlike charge, or it could be uncharged. Okay, student. While attraction can take place between one charged and one uncharged body, or between the two uncharged body, the repulsion can place only between the charged body. Hence, the repulsion between the two body always implies the both of them are charged. So, student, I've explained up to here only. Meet you in the next video, student. Till then, thank you. Have a nice day, student.